morning. It's Tuesday, May 22nd, 2018. So fasting, sucking at, where I'm going to figure something else out. Not going to make any plans, not going to say any plans because I'm not sticking to them. But I'm going to work something out. I did do a little bit of the exercises last night from the Iona Fit. They were easy. It was good to do. I only did a small portion of it because I did it late, and she had a lot of jumping and jumping jacks, and you know, at 8:30 at night, I don't think it's good for a 230-pound woman to be jumping on the second floor. Her neighbors might get mad, even though they're you know, loud themselves. But I still have respect and consideration for my neighbors. So I didn't watch today's video, so I don't know what it is. I'll watch it at work and figure it out, and I'll do it after. I have to take my dad to the store after work, so I'll do it after that. And I might just incorporate some of yesterday's exercises into today's, depending on what today is, because I know yesterday was a full body workout, and I think today is abs, so it probably won't be as much of jumping and those type of things. So we'll see. I just had to adjust it a little bit. Weather is not so nice, so I really don't think I'm probably going to get out and walk or do any of that stuff on a nice day. Excuse me. I can put my morning yawn in the video. On a nice day, I may take the videos outside and do them in the park, and you know, do it that way. I just may do that. So eating wise, I am kind of sort of fasting, but not really. So I've been eating bagels for breakfast, shame on me, I know, and a coffee every morning, and then nothing all day long, and then dinner time. But see, this is what's the problem with this is when I get home, I binge, because I'm so hungry that I binge, and then I eat dinner. No, I need to regain control of that. Somehow, some way, regain control of that. I did sign up for next month doing the Prove It Ketosis, ketone 60-day fasting thing. I know it's going to be like $80, but I'm going to do it. It's just a, you know, they call it a reboot, and I'm going to call it the same thing, a reboot type of thing, and they give you some stuff so that way you can be successful, and I'm going to try it. It is quite pricey, but you know, I've spent money on other things before, so why not? The worst thing happens is I don't like it, and I don't want to do it. But I spent, you know, $100 and something on Thrive, and that did absolutely nothing for me. So why not try this? And I still got Thrive crap left over. So we'll try this. What's the worst that happens? So that is really about it. That's the plan so far. I just have to point out, and I just want to make everybody, you know, I come from, okay, so I was part of this Facebook group it's a local group, and in the beginning when it first started, I joined it because it had a lot of local news and happenings and what's going on between the two towns, because we have the town I live in has an abutting town, and so they call it the Twin Cities. So this group had a lot of things going on that a lot of events, postings about what was going on in the community, and so I joined the group. Well, after joining the group, I noticed a lot of derogatory comments toward Somali citizens in the community and other minorities and those type of things. And not that I am a gladiator by any means. I just am an advocate. I just am a born advocate. That's just how I've been my whole entire life. You know, I've always advocated for the underdog, always stuck up for them, even though I was the underdog myself many times. But no, I really did. And I realized that doing this brings heat onto myself. I'm fully aware of that. And because I am vocal about things, that does hinder some of my own accomplishments, because nobody wants to deal with, an outspoken female or an outspoken person, period. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. Nobody wants to deal with an outspoken, because you cause too much riffraff, too much trouble, too much, attention. So nobody really wants to deal with that. So I do realize that does bring backlash, and some people may not like me, and people say rude, nasty comments, and that may prevent people from purchasing from me or hiring me or whatever it may be. I understand it does also lead to me being pulled over quite a bit. I've had those days. But at the same token, I feel that if nobody speaks up and points out the wrongs, we can never evolve and correct it. And I've said this before, that I really think that I am at an advantage, because my white privilege allows me to get into situations and meet certain people that I would not normally be able to do because of being biracial. Because when you see me, you don't say, ding, 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 she's biracial. You see, oh, she's white. There's something in that bloodline that's making her have that curly hair and that kind of tan skin. But you don't automatically think. So and I'm fully aware of this, always have been cognizant of it, and I use it and utilize it to my advantage a lot. The sad part is once people find out that I am half black and half white, that then diminishes any white privilege that I had, and I'm automatically kicked out the crew. I'm no longer accepted, which is fine with me, because in the meantime I got my foot in the door and you liked me and you realize that black people are not as bad as you think. Anyway, so a part of this group, and so lately I've seen a lot of derogatory posts, and I was at first ignoring them and letting them slide. However, yesterday there was a post about a group of Somali kids who attacked two white men in the park. Now, I'm not saying that this is okay and it's acceptable, because it's not. I don't care if you're what culture you're from. No group should be attacking anybody. I personally hate when I see videos of teenagers or children ganging up on one person. And maybe it's because I was jumped before by like 12 people. I don't know. But I don't feel that a fight should be more than one-on-one. Straight. Period. If you have a problem with somebody, you should take up on that person. If you're losing, hey, that's shit out of luck. That's your problem. You're losing. Good for you for trying and standing up for yourself, but you're losing. Get the fuck over it. Your friends should not be jumping in. Anyway, totally different subject. Move on. So, people were talking crap about Somalis and how they need to go back and they're ungrateful and they suck from our system and da-da-da-da-da-da, and they get $1,000 in food stamps, and how are they getting all these car loans, and how are they doing this, and they get these handouts, and blah, 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 blah. I've said this before. I totally agree with not getting handouts. However, I totally agree with our ancestors came here and worked and did all that. This is a new day and age. Things are totally different from 2018 to 1909. Totally different. Totally different. The resources that we have for welfare today were not available back then, even for Americans. So to sit here and say, well, my parents did, my great-grandparents didn't get handouts, no, they didn't, because they weren't available. If they were available, they would have, but they weren't available. They're available now. They're ungrateful. Well, how do you know they're ungrateful? I haven't met one single immigrant who came here who said they're ungrateful for the opportunity that America has provided. Not one. Have you asked them, are they ungrateful? I think white people, Americans, not white people, Americans, are more ungrateful of the opportunities they have than any other immigrant who came to America. Now, do I think the behavior is acceptable of some of these children? Absolutely not. But I don't think it's just Somali children. God damn, we got our kids eating Tide Pods and Cinnamon Challenge and all this other crap. How the fuck are you going to talk about another culture's children when your own children are acting ignorant and stupid? How the fuck are you going to do that? Not to mention, most of these kids educationally can run freaking mountains around your goddamn kids. They can tell you more about America than you can tell them about America. So I unjoined this group. I stopped. I got out of it because I personally can't stand it. And I was in it yesterday with a couple of people on a couple of different things, and I'll explain in a minute. So this morning I made the comment, and because somebody said this infamous saying, you make it about race. It's not about black, it's not about white. When you point it out, you make it about race. Let me just say this. Do you point out bluebirds and red robins? Do you call them a bird? Or do you call it a bluebird and a red robin? You call it a bluebird and you call it a red robin because that's what it is. But you don't say, oh, how dare you call it a bluebird and a red robin? That's prejudice. It's just a bird. No. You call it what it is because it is what it is. You see a black person, you call him a black person. You see a white person, you call him a white person. You see a Spanish person, Spanish. Asian. You call it what it is. The difference between that, and this is where people get the lines blurred, is when you start dissing, disrespecting. That's what dissing is. Disrespecting, violating, degrading another individual based on their appearance. So it's not okay to go around and tell a fat person, you're fat. We don't accept that in society. If somebody was telling somebody you're fat, we would not accept that. And because you're fat, you're not allowed to have this job. Because you're fat, you're not allowed to do this. Because you're fat, we don't accept that. And let me tell you, if that was the case, the state of Maine would be really fucked. But we don't do that. So, the comment this morning that I posted on there was, I just pointed out facts, how people bitch but don't want to provide solutions. You have no problem with sitting behind that computer and bitching about somebody else's actions, but you're not providing any solutions for that. And I gave examples. And one of the examples was, there was a Somali teenager who got in a car and he didn't have a license and he hit a building. Just the same damn next day, there was a 10-year-old boy, white boy, who stole a car and hit cars. Now, the two threads, totally different times, totally different groups, but the two threads had totally different comments. The Somali comments were, figures, send them back, ungrateful pieces of shit, don't know how to drive. And tons of stories about how Somalis are so bad and they ruined, other people's lives, and they did this and they did that and they did this and they did that. And then the little 10-year-old boys was, where were his parents? Poor child, there's got to be something wrong with him. Because, no white person has ever gotten in a car and without a license and caused damage to anybody else's property. That has never happened, especially here in the state of Maine. Oh my God, that has never happened. So I went on to say, there was another article posted about how the school system is looking for more minority teachers or employees. And all of a sudden, there was this big uproar about how this was reverse racism. And this doesn't happen the reverse way. Nobody's going out looking for white teachers. And people, are you that ignorant? Like, get the fuck out of Maine for a little bit and go see what it's like in other areas. And then you'll see what real life is really about. Get the fuck out of your borders and experience. Become a little knowledgeable. So, the moral of my story is, get out of your boundaries. Get out of your bubble. Stop living in that little round circle and experience things. And when you do that, that will open you up to so many things. And you won't be so narrow-minded. You won't see things just one way. You gotta experience. You know, you gotta try different things. Life is just like eating food. If you only eat pasta, you're never gonna know what steak tastes like, or shrimp tastes like, or lobster tastes like, or like any of that stuff. And so you're only gonna be narrow-minded to that pasta. Open up your mind. Well, you know what I say, the best investment you can make is an investment in you. What are you investing in you today? And today I'm investing sanity. So I unfollowed that group so I can have my sanity. And I'm going to spend a little time with my dad and work out a little bit today. So I'll check you guys in tomorrow, and you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.